Hi everybody, my name is Celine Arafat, and for this discussion board I wanted to discuss chapter 5, which mainly focuses on nonverbal communication. So beginning with chapter 5.1, we see that nonverbal communication is an extremely important part of our everyday lives. Nonverbal communication is conveyed in multiple different ways. It could be conveyed through eye contact, it could be conveyed through facial expressions, hand gestures, and body language. An example of body language during nonverbal communication is if you're having a conversation with somebody and you're crossing your arms, it could be taken very negatively as if you're not very interested in the conversation. This also goes for eye contact. If you're not making eye contact with somebody during conversation, it could also show that you're very uninterested in the conversation. It could be taken very negatively. This leads me to communicative value. Nonverbal communication has a very important communicative value. Communicative value is also very apparent during interactions with different cultures. So, for example, there's many universal hand gestures that are considered the same in different cultures. If you're talking to somebody that doesn't speak the same language as you, but you understand their hand gestures or what they're trying to tell you, a thumbs up could be taken very positively as if you do understand. Or if you're talking to somebody and they're turned around the other way, it has communicative value in the sense that they're not interested in the conversation, their body isn't facing you. This also goes for if you're talking to somebody and they're facing you, their body's positioned towards you, and they're making eye contact. It's very positive. It shows that they're very interested in the conversation. This also leads me to attribution error. Attribution error is basically when you misinterpret somebody's verbal cues. For example, if somebody's crossing their arms, you may take it very negatively during the conversation, again, as if they're uninterested, but they could be crossing their arms for a different reason. They could be cold, or they could just have a medical condition. Also, if somebody's fidgeting with their fingers, it could be taken as a sign of stress or anxiety, when in reality they could just be picking at their skin, or they could just be looking at their fingers. Moving on to chapter 5.3. Chapter 5.3 focuses on improving your nonverbal skills. You need to be in the mindset for the effectiveness of the message that you're trying to send. It's extremely crucial to be aware during nonverbal communication. It's also very important to believe that it could cause either a negative impact on a conversation or a positive impact on a conversation. This also leads me to nonverbal vocalization, which is basically the sounds we make throughout conversation and communication. These sounds that we make aren't actual words, but they have a big impact on the conversation that we're having. This also leads me to pitch. So when we talk about pitch, there's low pitch and there's high pitch. If you're talking to somebody in a high pitch volume, that could mean that it's very positive. It could also be negative in the sense that high pitch is kind of like if you're yelling, you're very angry. But mainly it could be taken in a positive manner. So if I'm talking to somebody high pitch, I'm very happy, I'm excited, and I'm very engaged in the conversation. If you're talking to somebody with a low pitch, it could mean something negative, like you're not very interested in the conversation. It could also mean that you're sad. It could mean multiple different things. This chapter had a very big impact on me. It made me realize in my own personal life that maybe sometimes the nonverbal cues that I'm conveying aren't taken the correct way that I want them to be taken. It made me very self-aware of my own personal thoughts and what I think about other people's nonverbal communications as well. Overall, this chapter was very interesting for me, and I'm very glad I got to cover it. Thank you very much.